Impact of globalization. Let's talk about that. The impact of globalization, focusing on how it flattens cultural differences, erodes local customs and beliefs, and spreads a secular, capitalist way of life. Globalization has become one of the most defining phenomena of the modern era. With advances in technology, communication, and transportation, the world has become increasingly interconnected. While globalization has brought about economic growth, technological progress, and improved access to goods and services, it has also had profound social and cultural consequences. One of the most noticeable cultural impacts of globalization is the flattening of cultural differences. As people around the world consume similar products, watch the same movies, listen to the same music, and wear similar clothes, the distinctiveness of regional cultures begins to diminish. Global brands like McDonald's, Nike, and Netflix are now household names almost everywhere, reducing the visibility of local alternatives. The erosion of local customs and beliefs is another significant consequence of globalization. As societies become more exposed to global norms and values, they may begin to question or abandon traditional ways of life. This can lead to a loss of cultural identity and a weakening of community bonds that were once held together by shared beliefs and rituals. Globalization also promotes a largely secular and capitalist worldview. In many cases, economic growth and consumerism are emphasized over spiritual or communal values. Societies may shift their focus from collective well-being to individual success, often measured in terms of material wealth and consumption. Let's talk about the impact. Globalization and the flattening of cultural differences. Globalization has significantly altered the cultural landscape of the modern world. As borders become more porous due to advances in technology, transportation, and communication, people from different regions are more connected than ever. While this increased connectivity allows for the exchange of ideas and information, it also contributes to the flattening of cultural differences. One of the most visible signs of this flattening is the global spread of popular culture. From American movies and music to international fashion trends and fast food chains, a shared global culture is emerging. People in different parts of the world often consume the same entertainment and products, leading to a sense of uniformity. As a result, local cultural expressions such as traditional clothing, music, and language often get pushed aside or become less relevant, especially among younger generations. Multinational corporations play a key role in promoting a standardized global culture. Companies like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and Apple market their products using universal themes and branding that appeal across cultures. This makes local businesses struggle to compete, and traditional consumer preferences may shift toward what is marketed globally. Over time, this erodes regional uniqueness and encourages people to adopt a more global, often Western lifestyle. Let's proceed to the second impact: globalization and the erosion of local customs and beliefs. Globalization has brought about many changes in societies around the world, especially in terms of culture and tradition. As people become more connected through the internet, trade, travel, and media, they are exposed to new ways of thinking and living. While this can promote understanding and innovation, it can also lead to the erosion of local customs and beliefs that have been passed down for generations. One major way globalization affects local traditions is through the influence of foreign lifestyles. Western culture, in particular, has become dominant in many parts of the world, often being seen as modern, advanced, or desirable. This can cause people, especially the younger generation, to abandon traditional practices in favor of global trends, such as celebrating Western holidays instead of local ones, or preferring foreign clothing and food over their own. Religious and spiritual beliefs are also affected. Globalization often promotes secular values such as individualism, materialism, and consumerism. These values can conflict with traditional beliefs that emphasize community, humility, and spiritual growth. As people adopt more global mindsets, religious customs and practices may become less common or lose their importance in daily life. In some communities, economic pressure from globalization pushes people to migrate to cities or other countries in search of better opportunities. This separation from their roots often leads to a break in the transmission of cultural traditions. As fewer people continue to practice local customs, they gradually disappear or survive only in commercialized forms for tourists. While globalization has many benefits, such as increased access to information and economic development, it also has serious cultural consequences. The erosion of local customs and beliefs weakens cultural identity and diversity. To prevent this loss, it is important for communities to actively preserve and promote their unique traditions while still engaging with the global world. Now, the last impact of globalization. Globalization and the spread of a secular, capitalist way of life. One of the most powerful effects of globalization is the worldwide spread of a secular, capitalist way of life. As countries become more connected through trade, media, and technology, they often adopt values and systems that align with global economic and political trends. Among these, secularism and capitalism have become dominant forces, reshaping societies in both visible and subtle ways. Capitalism promotes a market-driven economy, where success is often measured by profit, competition, and material gain. As globalization encourages free trade and open markets, countries are pushed to adopt capitalist models to stay competitive. This can lead to rapid industrialization and urbanization, often at the cost of traditional livelihoods like farming or local craftsmanship. Alongside capitalism, globalization spreads secularism, the separation of religion from government and public life. This shift often comes from the influence of Western institutions and media, which tend to prioritize rational thinking, science, and individual rights over religious or spiritual worldviews. As a result, religious beliefs and practices may become less central in people's daily lives, especially among younger generations. Globalization has led to the widespread adoption of a secular, capitalist way of life across many parts of the world. While this has brought growth and modernity, it also challenges traditional cultures, values, and social structures. What is religion nowadays? Another interesting question to answer. It's no longer a set of beliefs that people arrive at by reflection. In the past, religion and spiritual beliefs were often formed through deep personal reflection, contemplation, and philosophical reasoning. People would meditate on life's purpose, ethics, and the divine, gradually forming a belief system. However, in today's fast-paced and information-saturated society, the formation of beliefs is less about individual introspection and more about social influence, culture, and media. Many individuals inherit their belief systems from family, community, or society without deeply questioning or reflecting on them. Religion often becomes a cultural identity rather than a philosophical or spiritual choice. The rise of social media and digital content has also changed how beliefs are formed. People are exposed to snippets of religious or ideological content, leading to shallow understandings rather than deep reflection. Peer influence plays a stronger role than ever. Beliefs are often shaped to fit into social groups, communities, or political affiliations rather than being the result of personal exploration. This shift reflects broader trends in how identity and values are constructed in the modern era. There is a greater emphasis on belonging and external validation than internal conviction. Additionally, secularism and scientific progress have redefined the way people perceive truth and meaning. As empirical knowledge grows, the need for metaphysical reflection seems less urgent to many. In conclusion, belief systems are increasingly shaped by external, social, and cultural forces rather than personal reflection, signaling a shift in how people understand and relate to religion and spirituality. 2. It's a symbolic system which carries our identity and marks out social, ethnic, and other boundaries. Religion functions as a powerful symbolic system that conveys deep meanings, traditions, and values that help shape personal and collective identities. Symbols such as the cross, the crescent moon, the Om, or sacred texts carry centuries of cultural and spiritual significance. These symbols bind communities together. Religious affiliation often defines one's identity in relation to others. It tells people who they are, where they belong, and what they stand for. As such, religion is also used to distinguish social and ethnic boundaries. It helps differentiate between us and them in complex social structures. For example, religious festivals, dietary laws, dress codes, and rituals visibly mark communal boundaries and often reflect ethnic or cultural backgrounds. Overall, religion as a symbolic system plays a central role in shaping identity and defining the social and cultural boundaries that guide interactions within and between communities. 3. It marks crucial moments in the life cycle with rituals. Religion has long served as a guide through the major stages of human life, offering rituals that mark significant transitions and provide meaning during these times. From birth ceremonies like baptisms or naming rituals to coming-of-age celebrations such as bar bat mitzvahs, religion acknowledges personal growth with community recognition. Marriage is another key moment celebrated with religious ceremonies, which not only unite two individuals but also bring families and communities together. Death, too, is given profound importance in religious practice. Funerals, prayers for the dead, and mourning rituals help people process grief and honor the departed. These rituals are not only spiritual but deeply social. They create shared experiences that strengthen communal bonds and affirm shared values. Even non-religious people often turn to traditional rituals during major life events, indicating the powerful emotional and cultural role these ceremonies play. Religious rituals often come with prescribed symbols, languages, and behaviors, adding layers of meaning and reinforcing cultural heritage. In essence, religion marks life's crucial moments with rituals that not only honor the individual but also sustain community and continuity across generations. 4. It provides powerful mechanisms for psychological and social tension. Religion holds immense emotional power, and as such, it can become a source of both psychological comfort and significant social tension. On one hand, religious practices such as prayer, meditation, and communal worship offer relief from stress, providing individuals with a sense of peace and stability. On the other hand, conflicting beliefs, dogmas, and interpretations can spark intense inner turmoil, especially for those questioning their faith or caught between cultural expectations. Socially, religion has the potential to unite but also to divide. Differences in belief can lead to misunderstandings, discrimination, and even conflict. Throughout history, religious differences have been at the heart of wars, social unrest, and systemic exclusion of minority groups. Within communities, rigid doctrines can create pressure to conform, marginalizing those who think differently or live outside traditional norms. However, religion also provides tools for managing these tensions, offering frameworks for forgiveness, reconciliation, and social justice. Interfaith dialogue and inclusive religious movements show that religion can evolve to reduce rather than increase tension. Ultimately, religion remains a double-edged sword, a powerful force that can both soothe psychological distress and stir social conflict, depending